Hey, welcome to Friday night here with our Invitates Live. You see the crown on. She's wearing a crown. It is my birthday. And so we're going to do a little celebrating tonight. And of course, we're going to do everything else that goes on the show. Y'all, we're live. Let's go. I'm a filmmaker. I've worked in film, video, and television for over 30 years. I took a little break, but now I'm back. Hey, welcome back. I haven't seen that in a little while, that opening, because, we've been on a little break, and I'll bring the team in just a few moments, and we'll talk about the break, and we'll get a chance to talk about what everybody else did during the break. But of tonight, we're going to have a fun show. Again, it's my birthday, wearing the crown, and you'll see the team in, and they'll be doing their thing too. But we got Who's Spiked the Tea, and we're going to try to catch some of the stories that were going, a few of them from when, we were away, and then a few things from this week. And then also the living room is back, 20 questions for lovers. I'm going a little deeper than that. I just thought I'd put that as the title. So Y'all hang on tight. We'll be back in with the team in just a few moments. Our Imitates Live with Tanya Dixon is being sponsored by Candyland Global, bringing your multimedia dreams to life. Hey, welcome back. Our Imitates Live now. Like I said, we're about to go live and do the whole thing. I'm about to bring everybody in. So you know how we do it. Go ahead and unmute yourselves. Let me go ahead and bring you all into the studio. How y'all doing?
Hey. Got to be back.
I know, we're back. I'm really glad to be back. And joined by some special guests tonight. I see Cookie is there, and I guess her and LaMarcus is still coming in. But while they're still coming in, my longtime friend, who is, like I said before to the team, he is actor, producer, director extraordinaire. Kal Cauthen's in the house. How you doing, Kal?
Welcome.
Thank you. Hey, I didn't tell you that I was a singer, so let me get this out. Let me just set the mood here. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Happy birthday, girl. You are my star in the sky. Happy birthday.
Need some lemon?
Thank you, sweetie. Thank you so much.
Special chocolate.
You know what? Kal already reminds me of the guys, the 5 Heartbeats. You've always reminded me that you could be in for any one of those actors in that movie. We could interchange you for any one of those. And then he would sing.
That was the first dark-skinned cast.
Really? Okay.
That was the first cast.
Well, I tell you, I actually loved it, and I thank you so much. I thank you for my
happy birthday
song.
And many more. Many blessings to you.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you. But you know what, y'all? We are back. I see some more. I see Wildside coming in. Let's go ahead and add Tiana in here. Wait, Tiana, just talking about you. I'm talking about you bad too. Real bad, girl. Where you been? No. Tiana said, oh yeah. How you doing, Tiana?
Oh, just busy as ever. I think I set a new record at the amount of hours that I work in a week.
Mm.
Wow. Okay. I ain't mad at you.
Hopefully it's followed
I ain't
by
mad.
the amount of pay for those hours.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's going to land me a contract that'll allow me to get my bachelor's degree for free.
Right on.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Well,
All that
let's
for
do
free.
this.
Right.
You know how
All right.
you know how we do. I like to go around and everybody kind of just give me what's going on with you, what's been up with you. Like the 3 weeks we've been away, or like Kal. We're gonna just you tell us what you do and all that. So that's what we're gonna do. So starting off with Shan, we know Shan been traveling. So what's up, girl? What's up?
Actually, I've been to Detroit. I'm gonna go back around the 12th to the 22nd. Rick out here being messy.
Oh, my neck. I got a cramp in my neck.
I went out single and came back with a boyfriend. So
See,
that happened.
right? All right.
Hmm.
I ain't mad at you.
Man.
Just as talented as I am.
Okay.
So he's gonna bring me back out to help him wrap up. He's got 2 big paintings. And like I said, we paint the same. So he's gonna bring me
Right.
back out to help him wrap up, and he's actually gonna pay me to come out as a job to help him wrap
Okay.
up. And I was like, this is no, this is no.
Okay.
I'll take it.
Hmm.
And I've had a few job interviews, so I'm really looking into freelance right now. So that's what's going on in my neck of the woods. Detroit was really badass, by the way.
Really?
It's really crazy. So so I get it now when people are like, "Oh, I just kind of knew I was gonna be with such and so person." Because there was some time while I was out there, I just looked over at Steven and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm from Texas. I gotta go
Uh-huh.
back." I completely forgot I was
Well,
from
I know
Texas.
we had a quick conversation and you sounded like everything was going very well. So,
Yeah, it was a trip I definitely needed to take.
okay. I'm mad. I'm mad at you. I'm always for love, and
Yeah.
love. I'm always up for that. Okay. So we got you back on that.
Oh
All
shit! And I
right.
wrapped up some paintings too, by the way. I've wrapped up 2 or 3 paintings. I totally
Oh,
forgot about
cool.
that. I was too busy trying to tell y'all about love. I'm sorry.
The love is important, but yeah. So you wrapped up on some things for your
Yeah,
clients.
I'll talk that. No, for myself, I wrapped up spirit
Uh-huh.
candy,
Okay.
but we can talk about
Oh,
that
I
later.
saw that one. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for your update of what's been going on with you. All right, Rickness Monster, what happened over your 3 weeks of time?
Man. It's been dope. Actually, reconvened with a couple of friends at this spot here in Dallas called the People's Last Stand. I'll get a chance
Uh-huh.
to just open up poetry night on Thursdays. Hot spot, very hot spot. Just been doing a lot of reflecting, getting a lot of encouragement,
Mm-hmm.
and going back to that night. It's been a while, and I've accumulated quite a few clients. It's kind of overwhelming. Getting some custom paintings done, and it's it's a whole lot of yes, So
Okay.
went to a meditation, a meditation couples retreat, and channel a lot of energy and exchange a lot of energy. A bunch of good people was camping. Put my phone down, left it in the tent the whole weekend, the whole 3-day weekend.
What?
Yeah, I created a 4-day weekend for myself. So
All right.
it was very relieving. Just doing the whole digital detox, getting
Right.
away from the responsibilities, of just living and having to go to the grind and whatnot. Just being able to let that go for a little bit and get ourselves back and reconnect. With
Okay.
the misses. So it's been very, very relieving. I had a good time.
Wonderful.
It's been dope.
Okay. That's wonderful. Wonderful. Margo, how was your time off? What are you up to?
Hey, not much. Pretty much just reconnected with family, reconnecting and enjoying enjoying being around a few family members, not a whole lot, but just missing that and our creativity that we have when we do gather. On top of that, just reorganizing my life and learning just a little bit more about myself. Other little things that I like to do, as well as little things that I'm starting to see that's kind of starts to irritate me or my stress level, because being 40, about to turn 41,
Player.
I was told that you're in that age range when you stop giving a f about certain
Yes.
things and certain people. So I think
Yes.
I'm hitting it
Margo.
and getting a little bit more relaxed and
Margo.
to
It's
speak
called.
my mind. So yeah,
It's called
that's what
40.
it is. That's what's going on with me.
It's called 40. 40 is what it's called.
It's called what?
40 F.
F it, yeah.
40
Okay. Well, I guess I'm real past that. So I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Who gives,
All right.
who gives a F50? You know what I'm saying?
Right. All right. Wildside, you were saying now.
All right.
I guess you can
But
continue.
yeah, I'm definitely at that level. Yeah.
Okay, Margo, I think I caught the end of it. Kind of cut out just a little bit, but I think I caught the end of it for the most part. All right. Wildside, what you got going on? How was your 3 weeks off?
Man, I've been working my ass off. Pulling 12, 16-hour days trying to get my learners to graduate this damn program, along with taking on a new language, along with interviewing at so many places. And there is 2 potential companies that will probably extend me an offer, one of them being Kinsey, the school that I just graduated from, and the other one being some company that wants to give me a ridiculous amount of money. Like,
Okay, wow. That's
I don't,
wonderful.
I don't even want to say the number because it's stupid.
Okay.
Is it a ridiculous amount of money, or is it the money that you deserve?
Oh, it's 6+ figures.
No, but I'm
Okay.
saying, is it the money you deserve, or is it just like, wow? You know what I mean?
Oh, it's definitely wow.
Okay. Well, congratulations, and I hope that works out. I really do.
Thanks,
You
me
know
too.
what I'm saying? Well, you know what? Before I get the Cal, because I want to know where them dollars at, because I saw him with that money just now. Let's go back real quick at Veronica Vivacious. I see you there for a moment. And before your phone goes or something happens, how you doing? Can she hear me? I think she heard me. Rock, can you hear me? Hear me? I think she's having some technical issues. Oh, well, Rock, we got you. We see you there. We see you there. Oh, she will start
every time she tries to get on, poor baby.
Yeah, she's waving at us, so she sees us. Okay, Cal.
Hey, everybody, welcome back.
Yes, welcome back, everyone.
Yes.
All right, Cal. I know you
I'm
have a lot going
here.
on.
I've been getting stuff together. Things is working. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, cool. Yeah, Veronica has a big delay. We hear this as a big delay for her. So, Rock, we're gonna move on to Cal. So I guess you'll get that in a few moments. All right.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. It's just very, very delayed. We hear you, but it's delayed. It's very delayed. I'm going to text her and tell her she's delayed. All right, Cal, how's it going? What you been up to? I know you've been doing projects and stuff like that. So tune us in and let us know a little bit about Cal and what you do and your role.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. I appreciate being on this forum this evening. We go way back, and she casted me in one of her movies that she's still work in progress.
Stick it to it. We got the IMDb and everything. We're still gonna do it.
Exactly. So I've been acting for a while, and I'm now in Atlanta, and I am being like the universe is opening up for me. I just got casted in a Amazon Prime. It's called Blame. There's a couple of Amazon Prime Blames. It's one episode has been shot so far. I'm brought in the second episode as the main character's father, and we're a drug cartel gangster type family, and it shows the highs and lows and some intricate situations. And the writer is Alize. She's on Instagram. She's very talented, and she should get a deal from the second episode. Is really shot really slick. We did a lot of things. I'm getting ready to do a movie on Sunday, and I'm booked to do something in October. Well, this is October. In October, in a couple of weeks, go down to South Georgia to film something with Tony Brown. I'm just excited.
Cool.
I'm just excited. You know,
Kal
a couple of things.
Repertoire.
And like my mother would say, Calvin, are you making any money? So I can finally say yes, I am. You know.
Oh, wonderful. Well, you have a repertoire of things that you have done. So, you know, tell the people a little bit about some of the work that you have done, because you didn't just start acting like yesterday. You know, you've done some things for a minute.
The first movie I was in was Above the Rim with Tupac. I was in New York. I lived in Jersey, and a good friend of mine was like, "You should go," and I was like, "Yeah, I should go." So I took the day off, and I went down there, and I was a background extra. It's funny that you say 5 heartbeats, because when I got to set, one of the assistant casting people didn't know. They thought I was Leon. So
really,
it was showing me to a trailer, and I'm like, I'm here for extra. Yes. I'm not. Who do you think I am? She was like, Leon, of course, right? And I was like, no. So when Leon got there, you know, Leon is a couple inches taller than me. I'm 6'3". So Leon is like 6'4", 6'5", and his nose is a little bit pudgier than mine. I mean, we do resemble.
Right, you do.
We do, and it was funny. So after that, I did a couple of years with All My Children as a featured extra with Haley. I played her assistant. And I did a couple of independent movies, did a couple of commercials. And then when I came down here, I got the opportunity to do a TV show called Atlanta Homicide. Now, there's there's ATL Homicide, which is the 2 detectives that tell about their stories. But we had Atlanta Homicide, which we would take cold cases and, you know, kind of blur the facts, but stick to the story. And then there would be a PSA at the end saying, if you have any information, please contact, you know, APD. So I've been doing things, and, you know, I'm juggling, you know, being a father and owning my own business, and recently divorced. So it's life is grand. You know what I'm saying? I'm very appreciative, and I thank, you know, God for the opportunities that I have and the people that are in my life. You know, everything is about an experience, and relationships are very important. So as you well see, you know, what do we work together?
2012
years.
10? Yeah, I think it was 2010 or something like that.
Yeah.
And so that's been a while.
It's about relationships. You know, just let the universe open up for you, and, you know, if it's about that BS, just run. And if it's not, you know, stay in there and swing hard as you can, and, you know, hit a home run.
All right. Well, thank you, Kal.
No,
thank
I
you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for being here and everything as well. We're gonna get ourselves going in. I think I see LaMarcus coming in. Let me go ahead and add him to the mix here. LaMarcus, can you hear me yet? I don't know if you can hear me yet.
Marcus.
And so with LaMarcus and Cookie, we're trying to get them in. Cookie, can you hear us? I see you smiling. Can you hear us? Okay. Speak so we can hear you speak. Yeah, I can see it. She's like real shy. Okay, but we're gonna include y'all in. Marcus, can you hear me? Let's see if you get a mic check on you. Marcus, speak if you can hear me. I don't know if he can hear me yet. And Cookie, I can't hear you yet. I can't hear you yet. All right, so I'll tell you what we're gonna do while y'all work out technical. I'm gonna talk about what happened with me the 3 weeks, and then we're gonna go into who spiked the tea, and to give everybody a chance to get everything all worked out. We've been off. We've been off the show. What we didn't do a couple shows. It's been about 3 weeks that we've been off. Okay, and so
3 weeks. Yeah.
during that time, I had to take that break because of the asthma was just taking over. And that last show that we did that night, Rick, where we were on for 3 hours, I was so
Yeah.
antsy at the end of that show. I was like, can we please get off the air? And then it was just a really, really bad time where the asthma, it takes me to a place, happened last year and happened earlier this year. It takes me to a place where when your lungs start filling up so much with fluid, and then the next step you go to is the hospital. And at the hospital, all they do is work on trying to get the fluid out of your body. So I said, you know what? We ain't doing that this time. We're not doing that. We're going to get the fluid out ourselves, and we're going to work on how to do this ourselves. And so I went into an alternative treatment myself, and I'm very proud to say that the water has come down and that I can breathe a whole lot better. My treatment is working very, very well for me. And I said, it's time to come back. It was a very bad feeling time, but like my niece said this, you have a little bright spots that happen in the midst of things. I had absolutely no appetite. So I lost over 20 pounds just because I had no damn appetite. So there's a little bright spot that's in the midst of all the crazy,
You let the water subside, baby. You let the water subside. Bless your heart. Bless your heart.
I feel a lot better, y'all. But okay. Now, can I hear Marcus and Cookie?
Can you hear me?
Yes,
can you hear me?
Marcus.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes.
Right. Welcome to our Invitation Live.
Welcome. All right.
I just want y'all to introduce yourselves real quickly here.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
Welcome to the party. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Welcome.
Just introduce yourselves real quick. LaMarcus, I've known since I hit Atlanta, 1999. When we did the production on the WB, Marcus worked with me.
Right.
So just introduce yourselves to everybody real quick, and then Cookie will have you do the same.
So I'm LaMarcus Lawrence, and yeah, me and Tanya, we go back quite a ways, and since then I've been doing stuff with studio. I've had my own studio here, and do stuff with music, do stuff with television, same social media platforms as well. I do cybersecurity by day, so just one of those cats.
Okay, cool. All right, thanks for being here, LaMarcus. Cookie.
Hey, how you doing?
I am fine. What's going on with Miss Cookie?
My background is marketing and convention management, and now working on some packages that we're going to be doing based on your sexual journey and how people can enlighten themselves and grow and respect the fact that it's all right to want to be more, do more, but you have to be informed. And with that, it's a real good roller coaster that we're going to be bringing to people soon.
So the sexual journey.
Yes.
We want to talk about the sexual
journey. Yes, indeed.
Because I'm ready to get more information.
Yes.
Because I have just completed another loop of the sun, as you can see by the. And so therefore, I might need to venture into more.
Yes.
But you know what, y'all? This is what normally happens after we do our introductions, which Rick and this monster calls the ringer. We normally go into Who Spiked the Tea. And one day in life, I'm going to finish the opening for Who Spiked the Tea. I don't have it yet because I'm going to be doing that whole open it. I got to just be inspired, and I haven't been inspired today yet. So we're just going to go into our first stories. Now, during the time when we were on break, a lot of you all know that Anthony A.J. Johnson passed away, the comedian, passed away during that time. And this was really kind of tripped me out before I talk about the story at hand. Did anybody look at the meme that someone sent out there about how many people from the original movie Friday have passed on?
Yes.
No.
Something?
It is.
Because if you look at it, there's John Witherspoon, there's Debo, Tiny Lister. There's what's the older dude? What was his name? Oh, I can't remember his name. Then there's just a lot. I can't think of all this, all the right now. Even from next Friday, the little guy that was working in the shop, the English UK guy from the UK, the Caucasian guy from the UK, he even passed away. I mean, it was just so many. I never knew that
the
so
lady
many
from Moesha's show.
Yes, that's right. She passed.
He was in the movie Kids. He was in the movie Kids too, back in the day.
Really?
Yeah.
It was just something to see how in that one particular franchise, how so many people pass, and it's just really sad when I really looked at it. But did you all catch the story where the family is very upset right this moment about how nobody was supporting his GoFundMe? And there's an article out there saying that you Black Americans should not use GoFundMe as life insurance. And I'm just going to give you a little bit of it. It says a growing number of Americans are turning to GoFundMe to help pay for everything from super high medical bills to costly funerals. The latter expense made headlines with Anthony A.J. Johnson's GoFundMe campaign eclipsing expectations. Now, the fundraiser gained over $54,000 in donations. But as of that Saturday afternoon, I guess when this article came out, Black Enterprise reported that over 1,800 donors contributed to the GoFundMe to help pay for the funeral expenses. And so without going into the whole details of everything that happened, I just want to ask you all in general, I know you all have seen this a lot where people use GoFundMe as a means of, when someone passes away. What do you all feel about that as opposed to people taking the time to have actual life insurance? Or do you just feel that they're doing it because it's a way to get the community involved in their mourning and financially have something going on at the same time? I'm trying to choose my words very carefully. What do y'all think?
I mean, you just gotta, if it's, that's an avenue, that you can take it. Of course, you got your abusers out there, but if people are willing to do it, it's you don't have to come to the show if you don't want to. You have to put a deposit, and it's all about free will. If you want to, you want to. If not, hey, you can go the other way. You're gonna get complainers and people. You're gonna have naysayers, but at the end of the day, it's about choice. So everything is a matter of opinion. But if he got it, he can get it that way, then get it. Sometimes villages go way beyond your own block. Even the block from the yesteryear. Sometimes your village is a computer away. It's an internet away. That's what we got to do sometimes. But at least who's you got strangers out there that even cares about you. So I think that's dope. My opinion.
Yeah, I agree with him.
Do you all believe that?
Well, I've noticed that sometimes a lot of people, they're not prepared for that day or the untimeliness. I've seen several of my friends within the last couple of years had their loved ones had a certain type of life insurance that you had to, that's different from term and whole life. And they had one, but they passed before their payment can take care of everything, the maturity of it. And so sometimes people don't know the back end of it. I know when my mother passed about 4 or 5 years ago, she had one life insurance policy, but when she went to retirement, they were like, well, switch to this. And switching, luckily, we were able to pull some things together. But it happens to some people. Some people are not doing it to, get rich off of it. It's they really don't. They weren't prepared. That's something that we don't have now in society, of a book to say, when something happens, what do you do? Well, these are the steps. You're always going to the next person that you can get in your ear.
And a lot of these insurance companies are shiesty anyway. So at the end of the day, you're just pouring your money into an empty well or to a bottomless well.
True.
And it's going to take care of you. So it's like, at the end of the day, as a community, we should one another.
I do. Okay. I do have a question for you, though, and this is my question. I'm going to leave this story alone. We're going to go into the next. I remember in the story that I was hearing about AJ Johnson's wife and all, she was very upset that the public was not participating more and giving more money. And do you all just feel overall, because I got to play the devil's advocate on this for a moment, do you feel like sometimes people take it to a place of trying to get money because the person is a celebrity, or or a person not even a celebrity? I'll just say somebody in general. Do you feel like some people do use that as a means of life insurance, as a means of getting money for the different things that happen that they can't take care of when a person passes away, that they're using GoFundMe for that? So just have to ask that question.
Well, I mean, they're using it for more than just that. Like, some people are abusing it for daily income, So, I mean, if somebody's using it for a funeral or something like that, I don't think there's anything to look down upon at all, especially in America and the way that the things cost here. I don't think there should be anything said about that. It's the people that are using GoFundMe as normal income that we need to be speaking about.
Right.
I mean, also having that expectation to be like, hey, I'm in this predicament, you should be giving to me regardless. Like, it doesn't matter your title or anything like that. Like, you should not have that expectation of anyone ever.
At all. Trying to pinch people's nerves, like we are obligated to what you got going through. Okay, you get it, you're going through it, but don't make it seem as if you deserve the money that I work for.
Exactly.
Because of your circumstances, because we all got circumstances too. But you're not gonna put that. You're not gonna put that. That burden on us. We didn't prepare for it. We got a lot of other things to prepare for. So don't make your situation more apparent or more heavy than our own. So that's she's definitely in the wrong for that. Definitely wrong for that. Yeah, we work.
Okay. You know what? I just had to ask that because I've seen it happen a lot, and I don't want to be. I know how hard it can be when we lose our loved ones, and I don't want to be insensitive to the whole thing. But based on the article that is there, I just kind of wanted to see how everybody felt when it comes to folks in the campaigns that happen when a lot of people pass away or become ill or something like that. Just kind of want to see what you feel. All right, we're going to move on from this story. Let's go into, we know another one that happened just recently while we were away. R. Kelly found guilty of racketeering in the sex trafficking case. R. Kelly was convicted by a federal jury on Monday of racketeering in the sex trafficking trial, where prosecutors accused the R&B singer of exploiting his stardom over a quarter of a century to lure women and underage girls into his orbit for sex. I ain't going no further in that. We know the story. I just want to know what you all feel. There you go. It's been a long time coming. I remember for years, I've been just wondering why people were refusing to believe that was real and it was happening. But before I get on my soapbox, what do you all feel?
Well, even the people, a lot of people been listening. They still got that leftover. They're still mesmerized by the Piper's flute, by the sound of his flute. They're still mesmerized. They got that residue.
Yeah.
They don't want to say what it is.
Well, not only that, it's like we have this habit of idolizing people that we listen to, especially when it comes to musicians and stuff like that, and you never want to believe that it's the same idea of George George Washington's teeth not actually being made out of wood, but being made out of slave teeth. It's the same idea. Like, you don't want to believe that someone that found the nation could have some type of relation like that, even though that was normal for the time period. Like, when it comes to like musicians and stuff like that, someone that we idolize in that manner, like, you don't want to think that they're doing something like that because they're putting so much creativity and good into the world. You don't want to believe that there's someone that could be capable of being both light and dark to that extreme.
I understand that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
The thing is, I think I've just been so annoyed, and we have discussed it before here live, that I just could not believe how long it took when people knew for a long time, but there was major people inside who were helping to support that habit. Yeah, it was about the green, definitely, and they knew that there was a habit there, and there's people that were inside who were helping to get things going. They had a team of people that helped them to continue things going and getting these women, these young girls, over and over, and making sure that everything, all that stuff kept going. There was even the family members of the girls. There's so many people, and then you, on top of that, you had the corporation people, which I'm just gonna stay right there. That were involved, had some involvement there. I'm trying to be nice, so therefore.
Yeah. Well, ain't nothing nice about the truth. That's one thing.
Yeah.
When the checks run out, the truth comes out.
Exactly. So there was a number of people in that operation. So what I'm hoping for is that his fall, that there are other people who were part of the operation. They need to see some stress.
Yeah.
How deep? I think that they need to see some of that as well.
Some indictments too.
It's
well.
not.
Yeah.
Right. It needs to go down the line. Yeah. Especially on the racketeering
played a part.
I agree.
So
I think that I'm a little bit older than everybody here, so I grew up listening to R. Kelly like really strong. I love R. Kelly, but I can't stand Robert Kelly. I think that the people that enabled him, they need to be sought out, and they're obvious people. I think that anybody who gave money or took money should be, prosecuted. I feel like, yeah, it's his fault, but they set up a whole compound
network around him.
To everybody. And if I was one of those girls' father, I'd have took a shotgun to his groin area.
Well,
I wouldn't have killed him, but he wouldn't have been able to use it no more.
Oh, but it wouldn't.
Right.
Even with that, even like the parents that even did know and allow that behavior to carry on, they should be along with them in the chains, straight up.
Absolutely.
But not to put.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say it. Him having undealt with trauma, and continuously living on, choosing to live on with undealt with trauma, he took that responsibility. He carried that on. So by choice, he chose not to deal with his trauma. He chose not to.
Right.
He chose not to. You know what I'm saying? So he is held totally responsible. So whatever happens. Like Margo's right here. You know what I'm saying? Because there's only so much that we can have pity for someone, but they bring it on themselves. They bring it on themselves.
My heart goes out to the victims that did not know, did not participate, that were either coerced or blackmailed or whatever. It goes out to those people. But there's some of those people in there, like I was saying, their parents got involved, their families got involved because they knew that was money and they would be taken care of. And so that part is the most shameful part of it all. But that's what happens in child trafficking. You have a number of people who make the whole thing work. So I see Bernard said, Bernard said we're having a great show. So what's that now?
I'm saying it's not like you can just pull up to somebody's house and be like, beep, beep, I'm here for your kid. You know what I mean? It's got to be like a chain. It's got to be a chain of people.
Of approval and The parents who signed the paperwork for their children to marry him early, I don't get that. I don't understand that at all.
Yeah. I don't get none of that. And then the whole thing where we know, and I'm going to say this, and then we can leave the story and go on to the next. The story is going to come out more about Aaliyah because there was some stuff in there about the marriage license and her pregnancy and all that. That is slowly coming to the table, and it is such a shame as to how that young life was directed.
Those young lives.
Oh yeah, definitely all of them. Exactly. I just was looking at her story in specifics, but there's a lot of them out there. Now I'm gonna turn the corner. On this next story just a little bit because this next story is something that is close to my heart as filmmaker. Did anybody read this about director Lee Daniels? He spoke about, in an interview, he spoke about how he had to fire his first crew for the movie Precious, the Oscar award-winning movie Precious. He says there was some disrespectful white crew members in there. And he just really, when he was at the 2021 Toronto International Film Festival with Gabourey Sidibe, and he kind of opened up about those experiences. And the reason why I brought it to the table, because I know we got some more people here in entertainment. I know, Kal, you're in entertainment and the things that we have seen. And I'll tell you, I want to see what your feelings are first, and then I'm going to share with everybody why I love this story so much. But Kal, have you seen any things that make you scratch your head just a little bit when it comes to the industry, things of such, like when it comes to what Lee Daniels is talking about? You're muted right now.
I would have to say personally that I experienced something with a director. Me and the director were cool. We were on Facebook or whatever. She posted a picture of her, a new hairstyle, and I was like, "Oh, I see you." No big deal. At that time, I was married. I wasn't romantically interested in her or anything. I was just saying, "I see you." And one of the upper echelon people in her group reached out and sent a Facebook message to me and my wife saying that, if you're stalking her or you're doing this or you're doing that, if you're trying to be romantically involved with her because she's about to, to blow up or whatever. And I, as an actor, did not say nothing. Unfortunately, my ex-wife typed back blasting the dude and blasting her and blasting the situation. So there are some, like, it's just, this business is such a strange animal. Like, it has no face, it has a weird body, and it
love you 1 minute.
it'll spit you out, it'll chew you up. A lot of people have done things or stepped over the line, physically, mentally, and spiritually, in order to get apart. It's just crazy. You just have to be careful, and you have to stay, centered and grounded. Women especially, and now men more than women, even more now. I think is a situation where, sex is power, and people abuse it, whether they're male or female.
Okay, I get that. LaMarcus, you have any stories before I share something on this?
You know some of my but the best thing I can say on that is commenting off of Kal's statement is very true. You do a lot to, and you'll run into a lot of people that are willing to do whatever to get apart. And so that's when you hit that crossroad where you have to decide, am I going to, how powerful you are. You may be able to create your own platform within this industry to get you where you want to go, the way you want to get there. Because when you get to that point, you're going to want to be satisfied with it's a nice little twist to be satisfied with how you got there. So
Right.
yeah, I've had some crazy stories. This Tanya will tell you, but it's it just is what it is. And so you just put your energy into your own platform and move forward and build it the way you want to build it, and just stay content with that. You know.
Well, let me share this with you all real quick. And this is what I found to be very, and I can relate on a personal level. He said that some of the crew members on the set of Precious, they were disrespectful towards him in his previous movie Shadowboxer, and it didn't do well at the box office and it received negative reviews. He said they had zero respect for me, my vision, and what it was, you know. And he says they were New Yorkers and that looked at it as just a job. He said, I kept coming back. She doesn't look right. The set looks weird. This is what he explained. He says, I felt like I was giving birth to an alien, literally. So I did something that I now don't even know whether I'd have the courage to do. I fired everybody and shut it down. Now, the thing that I have to say about this particular story, I can understand. As a director, I can understand wholeheartedly, because on my first music video, you know, I remember this music video where I had the exact type of crew, where it was my first time going out there, and they were guys, they did movies and all kinds of stuff. And I remember on that first day, they just kept staring at me. They just kept staring at me. I know they were trying to size me up and figure it out, you know. And in the final analysis, yes, and God is good. We got through the day fine, and they told the other producer, they said we would work with her again. But it could have gone either way. And I remember thinking, is there an opportunity where somebody has fired the whole team? I wondered about that. So it's good to actually read that and hear that Lee Daniels did say, this sucks. Ain't gonna do this. I'm firing these folks. Call it in the day. And so I'm really glad to see that.
You know, I mean, when you're on set, and anybody who's, you know, any actors or whatever who's in that industry, that when the atmosphere gets poisonous on set, that can just change the whole morale project.
Right.
You know, you can't. I mean, you know, it can change the whole project. Even if it doesn't matter if the grunts, it doesn't matter what's happening. If that energy is not there, if people aren't into the arts and craft, you know, of somebody delivering a good scene, and then they turn around, you know, and you just got that atmosphere in the air, it'll change the whole thing. So if it was that bad and he had to fire the whole cast, and that was probably a very poisonous act.
Yeah, I thought that was just hilarious. But you know what it did is it told me it's okay. For if it ever happens that way, it just gave me the sense of it's okay. Okay, we got one more.
Mutual plot. Yeah, that sounds like a mutual plot.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, we got one more story. This one's actor two type situation. I found this to be interesting, that the little heat that was going on this week between Ellen Pompeo and Denzel Washington. I don't know if you all heard about this story, but basically Denzel came to direct an episode of Grey's Anatomy. And there was an incident where she harshly snapped back at him. Now, I'll give you the little backstory here. Of course, we know Washington is a two-time Oscar-winning actor. Right. You know, I just say the Sound of Silence episode where he did for Pompeo. She had ad-libbed the line. She says, "Look at me when you apologize. Look at me," in exchange with another actor. And the off-script moment irritated Denzel. And she said, Denzel went ham on my ass. And that's what she told her former co-star, Patrick Dempsey, on the podcast that they had called Tell Me, is a podcast or whatever. And she said, he was like, I'm the director. Don't you tell him what to do. And I was like, I'm just saying words. So this is a quote. Listen, motherfucker, this is my show. This is my set. Who are you telling? Like you barely know where the bathroom is. That's what she said back to him. And she said the two of them didn't speak for a while. And then she talked to Washington's wife, Pauletta, and she says, I'm not okay with him, but somewhere along the line, they You know, they have the utmost respect for one another and all of
My
that.
neck
I
hurts.
feel like,
My
huh?
neck hurts. My neck hurts. Hey.
From that whiplash.
I was like, damn. I was really
Yeah, that's a
tripping
bit
that.
much.
That's
Like, wait a
hardcore,
minute.
yeah.
I guess she felt like I need to flex really hard. He's on my set. He's on my show. But I don't know. Would you, in your position, and this is the
Desperate.
last thing I'm gonna ask y'all before we go into the real topics, what would you do if a seasoned director like that and you were doing ad-libbing or you were just that type of a method actor anyway, which, you know, Kal, I know you understand exactly what I mean by that, and someone came to your set and changed your way like that, what'd you do?
Well, the key word is it's your set.
Okay.
I feel like that's the
All
key
right.
word. It's your set.
You know, you always take more than one shot, you know, at that scene. And you know, if the director's feeling like the writers wrote something that he wanted to get out, then shoot it in more than one way and be open to that. You know, shoot it one way his way, shoot it one way we're ad-libbing, and then you know, maybe it can come out on the editing floor. But
Going through the proper channels.
yeah, you know, just get respecting each other's approach to the craft. You know,
Right.
so
Right.
that might
That's
you know, some producers should have said that in both their ears.
right. That's kind of what I was thinking.
Quieted that whole thing.
Right. There's a way that they could have done that because it was kind of tripped me out, you know, that it went all the way there. But I'm still surprised that she went on and called them the MF and everything. Like I said, I had to read it just like it was.
To me, it's a little funny. Like, you know, it's a little humorous.
And
First
it's
of all, it's someone else's show, and he was invited as a director. And if you can't take direction, then why are you in this business? You know what I'm saying? From an actor, from my point of view. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
listen to Denzel for a minute. He's gonna get my attention.
Exactly. So where is the respect? Where's that man's respect? Put some respect on his name. And as a director, for him to blow up is, you know, and you don't know what happened prior to that. You don't know what the day was. You don't know what the shoot schedule is. You don't know any of those factors. You're just going by 1 minute, one photograph of a second in one day. He could have, you know, I'm not saying he could have, you know, sometimes, like my man said, he said, you know, you take another take, let that roll. It happens to me sometimes. I'm a little dyslexic sometimes. I may say the line and jumble the words, but I say all the words in the line. So if you're not accustomed to that and you pull me aside and say, hey, Kal, I need you to say this verbatim, then I'm gonna do my best to do that, because I know it's something in me as being dyslexic a little bit that I will, you know, but when you see it on film, it looks like that's the way it was supposed to be said, or that was the way it was written, or, you know, nobody knows. Nobody's sitting there watching a movie with the script and saying, oh, he didn't say this the right way, or she didn't say this the right way. I think it's a little disrespectful. What we were talking about the first time with the white crew not respecting, you know, his vision. And, you know, it's, you know, this is my set. This is my show. Sandra Rhimes created it. Sandra Rhimes invited Denzel to direct it. So
that's right.
You know, companies in the house. You know what I'm saying? Act accordingly.
There's a way that you do things.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, my view is this, you know, and as myself as a director too, if somebody invited me to come in to direct on that set, and there's a certain, you know, way that I'm used to directing and doing things, I'm going with that certain way that I'm used to directing. So for someone to pop off and call me an MF, I'm sorry, we might be rolling around on the floor or something, because you went all the way there and she just went too far.
You talking dice game language right there.
Yeah, she went way too far. I mean, approach me and have a conversation with me, but look, MF, oh girl.
And see, another thing I think also is that Denzel could have use it as a teaching moment to show her that I'm trying to get you to be better than you already are.
Right.
You know, she got to a certain level at that show where, you know, she was, you know, to me, my opinion, she was just flat. She was a star, but she was, you know.
Right.
And yet, if you notice, they started showing her less.
Yeah. And she was getting this big sickness, and she would have these long sicknesses where she'd be in the bed and they would still build everything around her. But it wasn't her in all those different scenes. And so you're right. Absolutely. Absolutely right. Well, I tell you, Ellen Pompeo, I can say nothing too bad about you as an actress, my girl, but
know your
you
place.
would not be calling me no ML. That's all I'm saying.
But, watch your tone. I've been in this game for years.
That's what I'm saying. Well, y'all, it's time for us to go into the actual living room. Y'all know how we do. Oh, Shannon has brought down the hair. She's gonna put we're gonna put your eyes down, put the mask down.
Yeah, is that what you want?
All right. All right, girl. Margo has taken off her birthday mask, but we're gonna bring the celebration back in a minute. I'm still wearing my tiara, my little paper tiara.
I'll put it back on.
All
Put it back on like it's your birthday, girl.
Still celebrating. Yeah. My actual birthday is tomorrow, but we always get started tonight. Thank you very much. All right, y'all, it's time for us to go into the living room. Hey, welcome back. Welcome to our new life. Is the living room. This is where we take our topics and we discuss it. And sometimes we debate. Most of the time we keep it real, real diplomatic. But sometimes we look at one another like, okay, I will get you. Okay. Yes. You said that. So pardon if things get a little from time to time, but tonight I decided I'd take it a little bit different, a little bit more fun. The 20 questions for lovers. Actually, there's a lot more than 20 questions. I actually run across this article that I thought was pretty good, and I have some questions for you all to talk about relationships, because that's what we're going to talk about tonight, relationships. And hopefully Cookie will give us some therapy on moving ahead with the new sexual revolution. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, the name of this article, in case you want to check it out, is 153 Deep Conversation Starters for Couples. Because you know what? A lot of times couples, they don't speak, and they don't speak about a lot of stuff. How many of you can think of the person that you are either with now or the last person that you're with? I'll say the last person that you're with, and you realize that you did not talk a whole lot about things of the world. You mostly stayed with some little issues between the two of you, but you never asked these kinds of questions. Let me give you one of them. For instance, let's say, who is it that you look up to life and why? I mean, did you ever ask those kind of questions? And then I'm going to pose some more questions to you. Do you understand what I'm saying is that people sometimes stay surface, or they stay surface with issues in a relationship, and they never learn about the person? First, do you understand what I'm saying when I say that?
Yes.
Definitely. Well, like mine was like the past one. I was 20, I was like 20 dumb years old, in my 20s, still learning about myself, figuring out what in the hell is that I really, really want. And you with somebody else that's going through the same thing. So really not much to be expected, but even having that realm or having that opportunity, or even having that thought process, at the time, it wasn't, I want to say kind of like well warranted. It just wasn't, you weren't really didn't have enough experience to know the questions asked until you realize who you are and get experiences. So in my 20s, but now more so like that's what we're doing now, especially like as grown folks. But back then, no, I didn't have them. I didn't have the. It wasn't reciprocated. I didn't have the mindset to ask those things. We're just excited. We're young. Who cares about this and that in the world? Blah 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 blah. This us, and then it's like, all right, what else? What else? And that is what else, and that is what else. But unfortunately, it didn't. Well, fortunately, it didn't get that far. Fortunately, it didn't get that far. Cheers.
Okay. I said cheers. Yeah, because you made room for the person that's in your life now, Miss Toshiba, and you all, yes, y'all connect, on life issues.
Bless our heart.
For real.
Yeah, because we know how Rick can be. Yes. But I do want to.
Excuse me. Check, please.
Let's see. Look, I had to turn up my air on that one because I got a little tense on that one. Right. But let me ask you all a couple of questions here, and they're not exact, just deep relationship questions. These are things where you ever talk to your mate about. The question is, what is your worst fear? Ooh. What do you, in general, consider to be your worst fear, and is it something that you ever talked about when you were in a relationship, just in general?
Ooh. My worst.
I don't think I've ever been asked that, or somebody ever answered that. And that is some stuff you need to find out and know about each other. It's almost art to really sit there and have a full-fledged conversation with your mate, because you're so busy with work and kids and everything else that can come at you in life. But to really sit down and have those times where you actually fully conversate and ask the questions, there's a lot of those questions that we don't even know about our family members. And those were who you were around with first before you get with and find and have a mate. So that's stuff we need to find out.
So let me just ask you all in general.
What did you ever aspire to, and how can you get to?
Okay, I'll just ask you all in general. Let's pretend like we are in a relationship right now. I'm just going to ask you, do you know?
Our girlfriend.
Yes, girl. Let me ask you, do you know what your worst fear is? For real?
I was concerned, like not being able to talk or share about my trauma. Starting with that, because we all have trauma, and with that, the question is, who are we without our traumas?
That's a good point.
Who are we with?
That's a good point. That's a whole. As men, I remember TD Jakes saying something like, "Women, you have men laying in the bed with you that you're married to, that you've been with all this time. They're screaming at the top of their lungs, and you can't even hear them." So when you're talking about vulnerabilities and wanting to share that with the woman who sees you as a gladiator, who sees you as the knight of shining armor, you may want to think about having that conversation with your homeboys. Working that out in that aspect when it comes to vulnerabilities. Now, when it comes to just communication between, that should happen between a man and a woman that are trying to establish a friendship and a foundation, probably in the last 5 years, I've had the best communicative relationship, like very all adult conversation. No need to really scream, it was just a very good adult, healthy. The conversation was just all about product. So I picked up one thing from I forgot this guy's name, but he graduated from MIT. He left and went and became a monk for like 3 years.
Oh wow!
And then came back, and now he's just like he was on the Red Table Talk, and he's just talking about relationship and everything with his I forgot this guy's name, but he just he went and just studied to be a monk for like 3 to 5 years, came back, and he's just sharing his experiences, and he is like he won all the little online awards and everything as far as Shorty Award or whatever it's called. But his thing was, as long as you two are making it's you two against the problem, not you, not like you trying to beat her or you're trying to win an argument or whatever like that. As long as you take the approach of you two versus the problem, then it never seems like you're on the other side of the table. And so then that communication lane becomes very healthy and very easy to travel.
Okay.
I like that.
I like that.
That's real.
Anybody else have any? Because I what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to pose the questions out there as to what you would have in the relationship that people don't talk about, but I want you all to talk about some of these things.
Okay.
As if this is our relationship. I do want to know, have you ever thought about these things? Like I asked you just now on the whole thing is, what is your worst fear? Some people never think about that at all.
I've talked about that before, but I think that when people pose the question, they don't know what the next step is. If they don't ask the follow-ups of, well, why do you feel that way? What happened? And how can we move past that? A lot of people with their trauma and things that happen, we don't have a breakthrough because sometimes people can't talk about it. They don't know how to discuss it. When you have the man and woman dynamics, you have an alpha, you have someone that's a leader, and it's hard for people to be vulnerable in spaces. So when you talk about relationships, a lot of people is, are you going to be present? Will I be there? You know, you want to make sure you're there for your family. You want to make sure you're there for your mate. But through a relationship, we grow and we change and we evolve. So sometimes we're not having those questions throughout the relationship. And see, and that's another issue. Like, I remember how you were when you were 20, but now if I'm 40, you're dealing with a different type of woman. You know, so with that, also a different type of man, and the dynamics change. What you didn't want then, you want now. Like now, a lot of people, the older they get, they want peace. And if a 20-year-old self can hear that, I would tell anybody, live your life. You know what I mean? Enjoy. You know, but learn to have peace, because then you stop having the petty arguments and the discord. And that's one thing when you say, like, well, what is your worst fear? Is to be alone. Even with not having peace in a relationship and being alone, not by yourself. Because by yourself, you know, but when you're in a relationship, am I alone? How many people right now are in a house with someone and they're alone?
Gotcha. Yes, that's very key right there. Some people do worry about the loneliness. Yes.
Right.
Well, you
and then also is it right? And the older that we get, you know, the circle gets smaller. You know, your circle of friends that get smaller because it actually gets more real.
But you know what? If you have a couple branches, you can still be a strong tree.
Yeah.
And I would rather be that person that has a few solid people than have many and they look at you and they can't tell you. I want to be able to look at my friend. I can see, like, I'm good at knowing they're like, well, what is it that you need? You know what I'm saying? I want my friends to be happy and fulfilled. So my goal is to be a worker, a hospitality, someone of service to you, because I want to see you. When you see someone grow and they change, it's awesome. But you only need a few branches for that. You don't need 25, you know, to be a wisdom tree sometimes.
You're not losing anyone that you ever need. You know, it's just that if your circle, it's not that your circle is getting smaller in terms of friends. It's just reminding you of what the original size of it is.
And is it a season or a lifetime? Sometimes we don't get the blessing of what we were supposed to get from that person. You know what I mean? Everybody's not meant to be in your life for your whole lifetime.
Right.
So some relationships, even your true love or your most monumental relationships, is not where that person will be in your life for the majority of your lifetime. You were supposed to get a lesson from them as you transfer, you know, to your next step. And that's
instead
what a lot
of trying
of
to make them
get.
stay.
Yeah. And you don't need to do that. You don't need to hold anybody that don't want to be there. And then you will have peace. You know?
It's like putting on the white wood in your house and wondering why you got asbestos or mold in your house.
True.
Right.
That's exactly that.
I got you.
You wonder why you coughing because you're holding on to this rotted ass wood. No,
Right. I like
Right.
that. I like that.
Replace it or move out.
A lot of times I think that from a male perspective is that no matter what environment you grew up in, the relationships that you saw as a child or as a young adult or as a teenager, a high schooler, then going to college and then or going out into the world and working. I think that life experiences help move you through what is going on. I've been married 3 times and I've been divorced 3 times, and I'm institutionalized. And when I say institutionalized, I don't mean that I was in jail. I mean that 30 years of my life, the 3 marriages lasted 10, maybe 11, whatever, 9 or whatever. But 30 years of my life, I had been in a marriage, whether I knew how to act or didn't know how to act. And the experiences I had with each woman are similar, but different. So what I'm saying is that I didn't have the example of a monogamous father. I had an example of a father who, you know, went out and did what he did, and when he come home, you know, my mom would be upset, and you know, these are things that I saw, and I think these are things that I deal with
It definitely trickles down
in my relationships. I am a giver. You know, I start dating a chick and I'm acting like a boyfriend already. It's only because I've been institutionalized.
Exactly.
Because 30 years of my life, I've already, you know, been doing that. You know, we go out to dinner, or we go somewhere, or we go to a concert, or I see something and I buy it for you. And it's not that I'm trying to win you. It's because who I am.
It's your nature.
So your experiences sometimes will taint people, and it's hard not to be tainted in a situation. So
some people just
I understand that.
It's important to have these conversations, but you have to trust the person that you're talking to. And men have problems trusting women talking to them because women, and I'm saying all women, and you can jump on me all you want, they'll bring that back up to you, whatever you said, in a negative tone, as opposed to the tone you said it in. You know what I'm saying? So if I said I went out and I went to the strip club and I got a little drunk and the stripper took advantage of me and we had sex. Then 3 months later, 90 days later, 2 days later, oh, you were cheating on me, you ain't shit, blah, blah, blah. You know, not dealing with any of the circumstances, just dealing with that one word in that sentence about having sex. You know what I'm saying? And throw it back at you at a negative, instead of saying, yo, babe, you know, what was the reason why you got drunk?
Let me ask you a question, and I just got to ask that, and I'm gonna take this question based off what Kal is saying when it comes to love and relationships. Do you feel like some people, they feel like that's this exciting part of a relationship when they are having some big to do, some big difference, some big argument? Do you feel like people use things as a weapon because this really is something else that they're trying to get to, but they use this particular thing as a weapon and they throw it back at you because there's something else that they're just unhappy about? Do you feel that happens a lot in relationships and that you never get to the core of the problem, number one, in that? Could you like you want to say something? Yeah.
That's true. I mean, that is true. People do use certain tools without, they don't deal with their own, their accountability. They don't deal with that, the people, mind you. And they use certain things to get back at the person. It's like they don't know constructive criticism. They don't know how to approach certain matters with being constructive, because this is something that perhaps they were never taught, or they were taught, but they have an ego issue. You know, want to be heard, this and that and the third. They don't know how to communicate. They expect the communication to come off solemnly or come off calmly from the other person. So you have to expect where I'm coming from. I gotta respect where you coming from. And if you don't, blah, this and the third, and then communication or the want to communicate just repels itself, but which is a lesson as well that I also learned even with myself, not knowing what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. You have to take a step back, like, wait a second, there's a pattern of what the hell I've been doing. And I've been told that even my past relationships, I failed to communicate this and that and the third. I'm like, wait a second, I've heard this before. This isn't the first time. So it's a self-check opportunity. So any mistake or any issues, it's not that it's just negative. It's just an opportunity to me. It's an opportunity to address yourself. Not to address other people. Start with yourself first. You know what I'm saying? And that's important. You got to trust ourselves. As men, we have to trust ourselves in learning and knowing and putting pieces together, putting patterns together, and having the willingness to change for the better, so we can have a better outcome or a healthy outcome. With communication being accepted.
Okay, I want to change this subject just a tiny bit here and ask everybody this: do you remember your first crush? And have you ever had that feeling again that you had when you had that first crush when you were young?
When you what?
When you were
have
young.
you ever had that feeling again after you had that first crush? Yeah. But I mean, like, it's different as you get older, because when you're young, it's more of a curiosity and a lust, as opposed to actually being able to comprehend what the feeling of love actually is.
Okay.
So I think as you get older and you're able to differentiate between love and lust, the feeling evolves to something a little bit different, where there's a possibility it can feel the same, but it's growth. It's grown.
Okay.
To add to that, you might, and sometimes the crush may come not at the beginning like it did. You see somebody, you get a crush on, what they're representing at your high school or in your community or whatever. But then you may find yourself talking to someone for a little while and then developing a crush just because nuances of them are new to you.
Right.
So then you develop a little crush there.
Okay. I like that. Anybody else understand what I'm saying? When that feeling is so cute when you have those crushes, especially when you're younger. But I don't know. Does anybody still have crushes now?
Yes.
So
I think what amazes you and which gives you those butterflies is when it's the simple things. Because when we were younger, it was that nostalgic moment that got you, and now being an adult, what gets you is when you can be that girl. You can have that girlish moment, and what I'm saying, he'll understand, and you can reciprocate, and you can see from there, and that's the beauty of it. That I'd say, like, you don't get, like, the older you get, the better you get at it, but you definitely have an appreciation for being able to have that smile or that spark, or bring back that joyfulness or that youthfulness that you had with that crush, So now, like, I think what LaMarcus was saying is sometimes it's certain things that a person can do or you can experience, and you be like, wow, it makes you, feel that way.
It's cute. You know what I've been doing? I've been not going to the chat, Shannon, and I know you've been in the chat. Thank you for man in the chat for me, but kind of give me a snapshot of what's happening over there in the chat. Who's talking? Who's doing what?
Well, a lot of it was Bernard when we were talking about R. Kelly and stuff. And then bro-in-law Jacob says, as men, because we're talking about vulnerability with men, he said, as men, we can't show we're scared. Hold on. I'm dyslexic. Y'all know this. Hold on.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Okay. As men, we can't show we're scared. We have to hold it in to show our mates that everything will be okay. Men cannot be weak individuals. Otherwise, a woman will not feel safe or comfortable and will most likely leave you. And I said that's not true. If you cannot show your vulnerability with a woman for fear of her thinking lesser of you, then that's an ego problem. You should be able to unfold like a flower for your partner. And Veronica said, "Lord, yes." To what y'all are saying.
The only way that is doable, the only way is if you have God in the relationship. Period. Because that moment, that crossroad,
Yeah.
and I did a little talk on this. That's one of the things. That crossroad where you both have to decide about something bigger than both of you, which is what you're both trying to create. You need a level of morality that's going to get you through. That's going to define the parameters of how you need to make that decision. Because how many men in this room right here can turn around and say that when you shared something with that the female significant other, that they some way somehow down the road it got thrown in your face.
Well, that sounds like you're not speaking to women who are emotionally mature.
That could possibly be it as well, but that's the moment that something gets broken. And so the thing that keeps you off that path is, that level of, I get, and it could be continuing to think like, well, because even though you may be dealing with the immediate problem of who drank all the milk in the refrigerator, but you also, so that should be you and her against, well, what do we need to do to resolve this problem? Well, one of us need to go to the store and get some more milk.
Let's go to the store together and skip down the aisles.
Okay. So then now if you take that same approach and always keep it as a living item in your relationship and apply that to
just milk next time, like
and apply that to everything in the relationship as far as just being able to I'm not going to say that to him. I'm not going to say that to her. I'm not going to make her feel that way, and I'm not going to make him feel that way, because it's supposed to be us versus the problem. So if you're always keeping that as a living item within your relationship, and that's the parameters of your morality in the relationship, then of course that type of communication can work, and it can be very healthy. You can allow this man to compartmentalize his vulnerabilities and express them to you, and then you can feel comfortable and understand how to reinforce and support them instead of maybe one day when y'all are arguing and maybe he stepped out, whatever the situation may be, but then to not utilize that because it's going to break something else. How much stuff are you going to break before you decide to fix it?
Well, I mean, it just comes down to that. Okay, we're going into the next century. Like, we cannot be on this mindset where women are the only creatures in the relationship that are allowed to be vulnerable and be protected. I want to know my man's vulnerabilities so I can protect him just as much as he protects me. And if a man cannot be vulnerable with me for fear of me thinking less than him, then I cannot be with him because his ego will always be in the way of our relationship.
And the person has to be let known. They have to know that they can come with their vulnerabilities. It's not going to have there's not going to be a firing range and then something hung over their head, as it happens very often, especially with men, as we do deal with a lot. But going in and knowingly, or just having the dialogue that, hey, I have this going on, or babe, I noticed that you have a lot. You've been doing this and that and the third. You okay? We need to talk about some things like, what happened, what is your trauma, what is going on, what is still bothering you, have these patterns over and over and over again, and having that security because we want it too. We want that as well. It should be an equal exchange. And sometimes it may take one more than the other. It's like, wait a second, he's doing this or she's doing this. Like, well, damn. Well, hell. Well, let me get in too on this. Let's be together. Let's be together. Let's get in touch with our essence. You know what I'm saying? Let's get in touch with our essence.
All right, so
everything else can be invited. And have a smooth or working flow or growing flow. But it's always not.
I heard this before. The only person that you can tell everything to, there's one person you can tell everything to, and that's God.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've heard this so many times in my life. So you got to understand that when you meet someone, especially in the city of Atlanta, you're not coming out the door and laying your vulnerabilities on the table. And then you also have to understand, just like Cookie was saying that people evolve, right? So as you've been in a relationship and you started off a certain way with the person, maybe both of y'all were planning on going to college, but then 2 years down the road, you're in college and they're saying, hey, I don't ever want to go to college now. So now your whole life plan starts to change because people are just evolving in the direction they're at. They have the right to evolve whatever direction they want to go because that's called loving someone, right? So as people are evolving in the different stages of who they are and who they're going to be, not only do some of your old vulnerabilities, but some of your new vulnerabilities, and everyone's vulnerable. Everyone has insecurities. So not only do those transpire with you as you go through your growth. So sometimes at one point you may have been able to say some of those same things to someone, and it was a safe place. But for whatever reason, good or bad, 5-10 years down the road, that same vulnerability that they know may get handled differently just because of their evolution. And that's just a fact of life. That's just economics 101 in love, right? So you can't fault someone for allowing them to have a space in their mind that is between them and God, and then having their space with you. If there's something they don't want to talk about, or they don't want to this or that, whether it was, then you have to kind of respect that and just love what you two are building, But if they do feel comfortable to say it, then fine. They'll say it one day when it's time, and that's just love. You just love them through all of that.
So one thing on that is, like, when you mention God, we can tell God so many things and everything, but at the same time, God, whatever our beliefs is, ancestors, and third. But at the same time, it's like, all right, you told me, I'm listening. All right, you got the tools. You can tell me all you want. You want this job, you want this and that and third. Do the work. Look at yourself. That's the problem that people have.
Do the work. Yeah, I agree.
They don't look at themselves, even so much as looking in the mirror, like physically looking in the mirror. Look at yourself.
Right. You're right.
Feel yourself. Get your essence. Yep. Look at your essence. Be honest. Be honest. Tell yourself. Talk to yourself. Be honest with yourself. Realize what
you got to do the work. You're right. You're right.
It is. Sometimes you got to cuss at yourself. Why do you do this?
Yeah, I think that's where a lot of this starts too, is the vulnerability. If you don't have the vulnerability with yourself in order to realize where your faults are, then you're not going to be able to be vulnerable with somebody else.
So and let me ask you a question. Jump in here real quick. Okay, go ahead.
You have to okay, to add to that, and I think everybody's saying the same thing. Eventually, I'm sorry, Tom. Eventually, your vulnerability should not be a vulnerability. It should not be a vulnerability for your entire life. So if you are doing the work, like you said, then a vulnerability will not be a vulnerability, and then you'll be able to share that with. If that's the path to get through sharing, getting to that level of sharing, then that's what it is. But that's growth. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you on that. Yep.
One thing that you have to say that also is you have to want to get out of your own way. You know what I mean? A lot of us, we always want someone to be there for us. You always want someone to take care of you. You always want someone there. But when you have issue, you're looking at the picture from being in the picture. And sometimes what we do is it's like you're stopping your blessing, because once you say you want to be healed, or once you say you want to grow, you're gonna go. A lot of people don't do that. They don't make that next step. And that's what we have to do. Like if you said, if one of you in college and one of you not, that's fine. Then you have that question. What are we going to do about this? What is your plan? Nobody asked. It's okay. Everybody doesn't have to go to school. But in relationships, it's all right to be vulnerable. But if I'm vulnerable and you're not, then I'm never really seeing you. And then if you take your vulnerabilities or your love or your passions or whatever, and you're not excelling or you're not balanced, and that's what a lot of relationships don't have, is balance. If you're away at work and she's at home or vice versa, and now you're in front of each other, if y'all now with COVID, a lot of people been home together. Well, what are you doing to nurture each other? You got to pour into someone's cup and not just get your cup full, because you can always go to a restaurant, but until you become someone that caters or take care, then that's the one thing that happens in relationships. Someone's going to come in and start pouring into that cup. So you have to make sure that you don't stop yourself or block your blessing by not moving forward. Like when I think someone mentioned a few minutes ago about in a relationship, and if someone cheated or someone doing something and then they get mad or they're saying things and bitter. No, you acknowledge it. What are we gonna do? We're gonna have this. Is it gonna be a repeat problem, or is this gonna be something we can do? Why is it? After you talk all that, then if you come back to it, everything keeps going because your cycle never broke. You know, sometimes we have to break the cycle, but to do that, we have to say, okay, you can apologize once. I apologize twice. Can you hear me? Third time, I ain't apologizing no more because you didn't hear me. You know, so that's what in relationships, like when you sum all that up, it's like, well, what are we going to do for that next step?
I have a question for you. Speaking of, you all talking about being vulnerable and everything, so it brings me to another question: is crying? When is the last time that you have cried, and how did that make you feel?
When you a release.
When's the last time I haven't cried?
A real cry.
Being
the
other
cry. Is that what you said?
Looking at stuff.
Oh man, probably this past
that's one of the healthiest
last weekend. Be like being honest, go on and get certain things out.
Right.
Baby, I got PCOS.
It's like
I
a
ain't
flush.
got control.
You flushing your system and putting your spirit.
It feels good to you because you're able to really touch your, you know what I'm saying, that inner part of yourself, even if it's someone that's their reaction to you or something that you've done or they've done. When you're crying, you're releasing it, and you're having a breakthrough for that moment. You're not bottling that anger in or that frustration.
Anybody else want that one? Because I just want to know, like some people, we were taught young, don't cry, shut up. You know, stuff like
that's
that.
where the problem began. That's where the problem.
That's
when you learn how to cry quietly.
Right. An older male, I would have to say that I have to explain to people that I am definitely a piece of steel, but I am very vulnerable. And sometimes, you know, crying is just a way of just saying, you know what I'm saying? I have moments where I could be talking about something, even at work, and well up, or I could see something on TV and well up.
Right.
So I am, you know, not above crying. A lot of times you're right that we are told not to, you know, show our emotions as boys and, you know, call different things or said to be different things that are labels that don't apply. It's because the person that's saying is ignorant to the fact that I am a human being and you're a human being, and that, you know.
I understand. They kind of cut off at the end, so we were all waiting because it kind of cut off for a second there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Somebody was calling me. I'm sorry. That you're vulnerable and that the world is throwing so many different things at us that we have to be able to not just put them in blocks and keep it moving. Sometimes you have to deal with those blocks and let them get wet, and then then you can throw them away.
Right.
I like that.
I like that there.
Philosophizing.
But you know, there's other types of questions that I thought were pretty catchy when it comes to relationships, and we got to look at ourselves. What is a bad habit that you have that you've been able to get rid of?
Woo!
I'll hit you with the heat.
Procrastination.
Oh, my mama's calling. I'll be back. I gotta.
I ain't dealt with nothing.
Hey, Mom. Hey.
Because we talk about our partners and all a lot. I want to know about you, like something that has occurred in the relationship that even could have caused a hindrance in the relationship because it was a habit that you had. So, Shannon, what's up?
Listen, y'all already know I'm Irish Creole and Native. So Irish and Creole, I'm mad. I'm just mad from the birth. I crawled into this world just angry as hell. Okay. So like there were times when like I was younger, if my friends were in a fight with somebody, they would just put me on the front lines because I would talk so fast you couldn't get a word in edgewise. And I'd have you crying before, yeah, exactly. I'd have you crying before you really even thought of a comeback, you know? So, I mean, you can ask my mama, like, I just had like, there was just like a point where I just like boiled over and I had like, it was like a pot without a lid. Like, you know, I just like boiled over and like made this huge mess. And then it's like those memes that you're like, you know, I got mad and then 5 minutes later I want to be cuddled type thing. Like that was really how it was. But like, you know, my dealing with my last so I was in a relationship for 5 years and it was one of the most healthiest and unhealthiest relationships I've ever had because it showed me a lot of things that I needed to work on. And after that relationship, I promised myself I wasn't, if I got into an argument with my partner, I'm not going to raise my voice at my partner because there's certain boundaries that I've got to make for myself in order to make my communication, even if they're not working in that way, I've got to be able to make my communication healthier in order to get my point across. You know, so there was a lot of work that started then. And then, you know, as y'all know, and the viewers of the show know, like this past year, I had a miscarriage. So getting into therapy after that, after losing, you know, my boyfriend and the miscarriage right after, you know, it really made me step back and realize, wow, this sounds so bad. I really don't care about a lot of relationships being cut off because there's things that I can't invest so much into someone else if I'm not investing the same amount into myself.
Even more.
So it really like made me step back and start thinking, okay, why am I wasting this much energy on someone when they have no effect in the long run? And I'll say, like, I saw a lot of growth this weekend. I had some girl slide in my DMs trying to tell me to leave her man alone this weekend and or this week. And you know, old me would have replied and been like, bloop, 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 bloop. But I really sat there for a minute and I was like, did I go off on
Wrong.
I did it. I just deleted the message. So it shows a lot of growth, you know. So anger.
Just recently you told old boy that you hit him in the throat. So yeah.
I'm just saying. See, this is growth. Listen, but you know. But you know, disrespect begins disrespect. But you know, but opening the door to this situation, you know, I chose not to do that, and I think that shows a huge kind of
on your side.
Like what I allow into my realm, you know.
Right.
So anger was a huge thing for me because I'm quick. You can ask anybody that knows me. I was quick to pop. Like if I was in the middle of a sentence and you interrupted me, it was just like no, and then I go back to my point, you know. But yeah, anger has definitely been my thing.
Mine is more of a mentality that I think was very huge. You know, we all have first I want to say to the if you're investing the most into yourself, that's the most that you can do for anybody in your circle, anybody that you're involved with. And if they're mature and they love you, then they understand it's not a problem. It doesn't become a problem because they understand that you're the leader and the champion of your own happiness. So that, they give the space. With that being said, the point that I need to change for me is I had to change the picture of my life and I had to give people the room. You have a picture of your life and how it should look, what job your kids are going to have, what job the girl in your life is going to have, this, that, and how it should look like, everything. If you got this picture of how everything's supposed to look like, when people come into your life, they have the responsibility to look like that picture that you've created in your mind. And that can create a lot of problems and stress on the people you're trying to have in your life, because they're trying to live up to something, a picture you have in your mind. And
wait. Do they have the responsibility to live up to it, or are you setting the expectation?
It's the bad habit.
They don't even know. They not even know that they're living up to this expectation. Like, for example,
that's the unrealistic expectation.
Exactly, because like, for example, Will Smith and his kids. Will Smith wanted his daughter to got him signed to Jay-Z. Had his whole kid's life mapped out. But it didn't go that way. Willow and all of them did their own thing. So now when you're dealing with children and all the relationships you have in your life, from kids to friends to, I want my friends to be making six figures, and I want, just whatever you have pictured for your life, putting that pressure on the people who want to be in your life, catastrophic. Catastrophic. You have to change that mentality. So that being something, that is the biggest thing I've learned I've had to change in maybe the last 3 to 5 years, and finally getting an understanding of that. That's a habit of, I guess, maybe putting, either emanating or putting, and not even realizing I was doing it. I just knew what a perfect life looked like. And we all got a picture of a perfect life that we want. But you got to understand that the people that want to be in your life and get on that journey with you, you can't put them under the pressure of trying to live that perfect life.
Why would you want that for yourself? And why would you want
it? Happens though. You know what I'm saying? Because everyone in this room has a perfect view of what their life should be like, what they want their life to be like. Right. And believe you got supporting actors and supporting characters that have to play a part for it to look that way.
But they tell you, like, but even with practicing like manifestation and stuff like that, they tell you, like, when you set the expectation, you're like setting yourself up for failure. It's like, it's the visualization of it, but you can't be setting yourself up to think this thing is going to go exactly A, B, C, and D. Like, you've got to have
you got to be malleable, right?
You can't come in thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to have Susie Q with a picket fence, in the middle of a field, and I'm gonna have, like, I'm gonna be Farmer Dan, out here.
But let me tell you what it is. It's when you are
when you have that expectation, you can miss out on people that come in your life.
I don't know where how yours originates, LaMarcus, but mine, I have that as a bad habit, and mine originates from being that dreamer, very introverted kid. I mean, I was like an introverted introvert, and I used to daydream and all that. And so mine manifestations, which I hope they manifest. They'll be my manifestation, but I can actually come up with these things in my head all the time, and I could either take it really negative, which is the really bad habit, or I could take it really positive, which is not a bad thing if you can do it with the right energy to make it manifest into something real. But the bad habit for me is when I think of the negative stuff that I see based on something that I've seen before. That is a horrible habit of mine that I have to stop. And by the way, Kal is back there somewhere. I don't know if Kal is seeing the comments. We're having a good time.
Out here doing security. Doing security. Making sure the ladies ain't pouring too much liquor in his club.
We're having a good time with you, Kal, if you look at the comments. You're I think you're on mute, Kal.
And I mean, it's fine to come back. It's fine to have your expectations for your own reality And it's fine to have your expectations when you're manifesting, but it's when you apply those expectations to other people that you're allowing to be a part of your world, where you start failing yourself.
Right. Exactly. And that's an easy one to fix because it's an internal mindset. It's an internal mindset, but and then in relief, it takes a whole mountain off your back.
But not only that, you are disallowing yourself the privilege to actually know who this person is outside of your own expectations.
Exactly. That's what I was saying before. Yep. You good people in your face, you're dealing with them, but you're not getting a chance to.
But she doesn't have blue eyes.
But you know what? Mine is not necessarily the fantasy of that person or anything like that. It's more so the situation. It's not necessarily that Prince Charming, but it's more of the whole situation of how it all should feel, you know. But I do have a person with a certain kind of look in my head, but we're gonna leave that out. Kal, did you see how we were messing with you in the comments? I don't know if he's seen it yet.
Yeah, he just replied.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, he's done security before. All right. Well, here is a fun question. And I want you all to think about this one. If all crimes were made legal for a day, which offense are you likely to commit?
Say it again.
If all crimes were made legal for a day, which offense are you likely to commit? This is a fun question. This is a couple questions, but
then I've got to be like looking at it lawfully.
And then,
oh my God. Now my moral concept has to come in, and I've got to be like, do I want to deal with this karma on what I'm thinking about doing, or should I just go ahead and do it because the founding fathers said that I could now? You know,
right. I mean, but come on, just tell me what you can do if everything was legal out there. What in the world would you
I've got a mini
get away with?
I might have a little hit list tucked away somewhere.
Right.
So
now,
hit list for your troubled people, your enemies,
you
all
know.
That.
Man. Y'all ever heard of that anime Death Note? Because if not, this whole joke is lost. Okay, yeah, I got a little book somewhere. I might know a demon. Need to go talk to a demon about a book. You know.
Well, note to self. Let's not make Shannon mad. We're gonna make the book.
I do white magic. I can't do that.
Yeah. So anybody have any things if all crimes were made legal for a day? What offense would you be likely to commit? All crimes were legal for a day. What would you do?
I don't know if I want to say anything.
I would.
This feels very incriminating.
Really?
I don't know if I want to fully incriminate myself with it.
Man, we being real, right? We being real.
Uh-huh.
You asked the question.
Okay.
And having the strength to handle them all.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell y'all what mine would be while y'all are deciding.
Do that.
Because I'm gonna be all the way creative. Yes, I'm gonna be all the way not just creative. I'm gonna bring other information in.
I would break the innocence out of jail. I would break the innocent out of jail.
Oh, I'm going somewhere else. Let me just tell you real quick.
I know where you're going.
You know, there are
freedom of information.
There are anti-graphitic scooters out there. You know, there are of the planes and all that. You can get places in a matter of really quick time. These anti-graphitic scooters, they already exist.
Are we teleporting?
Yeah, we're going to start teleporting and all that, but it already exists. We just don't have access to it. So that I would make sure that I had my scooter so I could teleport. I would visit all kinds of places. First of all, and then if there's people who are locked up with crimes that were not, either not legal, not righteous, not whatever. I would get these people out. I mean, I would be busy as hell in the midst of that one day, but I would be all over the planet in just a matter of moments, just getting people. Okay, of course, I would have to set myself up for, future. So therefore, I would walk into the bank to get everything I needed.
Bro-in-law Jacobs, you and bro-in-law Jacobs on the same thing. He just said one word. He said robbery.
But it's legal. It'd be legal. So you go, you get all the money that you need. You got to set up all your folks around you so you'd have all that. I mean, I would think of every area that I would need media.
Y'all trying to rob
right.
people. I'm trying to bury somebody.
I would have people go through the same suffering that they put families through with taking their families' lives. I would have them go through the same thing.
I got family members that can get it. I got family members that can get it.
So I would give them the same torture that they did to people to the innocent lives. I would have them go through the same thing, but slower.
All right. I see baby Kal back there. Baby Kal in the back. So
oh, you see Journey. Yes, she's getting ready to go to bed.
Oh, okay. Hi, Journey. Hi, Journey. Well, anybody else have any crimes that they would have?
We talked like. Does anybody else have any crimes?
She didn't say crime. I'm on this in my head, but I'm lying.
All of mine would be to benefit everybody else. It really would be to benefit, but I would use it for good.
Does the child have any crimes she'd like to commit?
Absolutely. I am going to who are the top 3 billion trillionaires. I'm going to take all their bread,
all of it,
and put it in my account. And then when the 24 hours is up, I'm just going to go and I'm going to throw it out like I'm at a strip club to the people.
Oh, you'll make it rain.
Whoa, hold on. I would smack.
I'm crashing the stock market. I'm going to crash the stock market.
That's going to happen.
Hold on. Let us pull our money out the stock market first before you go to crash that, please. Let us know first. Be like, hey,
get it out now.
Crash this.
Better get it out now.
Let all those that got money be poor for they can see how they make it. That's what I'm saying.
That's a good one.
I will force these landlords to live in the same conditions that they put tenants in. That's what I was doing. That's one of the things. And then I would also make those that approve these foods, I would make them eat the same foods that they wouldn't even look at.
Yes, child, because you know the people from McDonald's that own McDonald's don't even eat their food.
Yeah, you're right. You got to be right on
that. Even the owner of Walmart won't even do that furniture.
Oh, baby, he finna wear Reeboks for the rest of his life. Amen.
See, y'all got creative now. At first, nobody wanted to talk. I heard a lot of creative stuff coming.
Our shit's coming out.
Right, yes. But just keep in mind, this is just us speculating if all crimes were legal.
New law. If you have over $1 million, you're only allowed to wear Reebok.
Cookie, how would you make their world crumble? Cookie.
Oh!
See, Rick, you're trying to be real petty right now. See,
I'm being petty. I'm getting natural.
This is the normal. This is his normal.
See, I was going to agree with the dynamic that you said of yours, but the crime I would commit would be one that you would not know. I would take parts of what you were saying, but definitely the pain that you wanted that someone would inflict on someone. You wouldn't be able to inflict it. It would come back to you.
That's not a crime. That's righteousness. That's
No, but see, that's how we're gonna clean it up and say it real good because
you know
what I would do is I don't know if you heard this parody when a woman said Southern women they really would know what to do to get rid of a body. Oh, down by where the gators go, and and then we put the bodies over here. Yeah, that's where my mind would go.
All right. I ain't mad at you, Miss Cookie.
Thank you very much.
That's a tough one. That's a fun question, but it's also a tough one at the same time. I got one more question, but what I want to do, Shannon went off for a moment, but what I want to do is I want to look at the chat real quick, and then we do go to the final question of the night. I don't know if I've done 20 with you all because the conversation goes kind of long, and we do 20 whole questions. We'll be here till tomorrow morning because we're talkers. So let's go. Rick, you want to help me out with the chat real quick and see who's been saying what over there?
I was hoping you would not call my name because I've not been paying attention to the chat. I've been paying attention to the dialogue, but Sunset River left off at. So
I should say where we left off at.
Okay, so I'm gonna start with Element Designs, Element Rose Designs. We're about to get juicy. Brunlaw, no, that's old. That's old. My mistake.
Okay.
Charles Jefferson, hi Tanya, welcome back. Element Rose, amen. Closed mouths don't get fed. To Tanya Dixon, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Charles Jefferson, hey guys. Ooh, la la la. Another great show. Good night, but I gotta go. And Brunlaw, he says his crime he would commit robbery. Mother, if you don't get show,
I know that's right.
I'm gonna have to.
I said to be creative.
I'm gonna have to laminate a get out of jail free card for your ass, like, bro.
Okay. But I got to ask this one question since we've been talking about couples and we've been talking about relationships. And like I said, we're not going to do a full 20 questions tonight because it would drag the forum on way too long. But I do need to ask
part two.
Yeah, this is good for a part two. At some point, we'll come back on the part two on this one. But this one is Cookie. I expect you might come through with some information on this here. If it is not for physical intimacy, would you have stayed with your mate, your former mate, as long as you did?
No.
Thank you. Check, please.
If them jaws didn't work the way that they did, baby, I would not have put up with his mouth. Let me tell you.
If your mouth only works with just complaining and nothing else, Rick, shut up.
I said your mouth don't get fed, and I meant that.
I ain't mad at y'all a bit, but what you got on this, Cookie?
Yeah, only complain and eat food.
I do. That helped prolong the past relationship. I can't say physical. That was the lifeline that he kept throwing out. Okay. You got one more week, bro. Okay. But I think the balance that you can get when someone's intimacy transcends their physical structure, that's what you end up craving more. Because a person like myself, I have an extremely high sex drive. So I usually am able to give what you can take. But with that being said, past, yes. Current dynamics, no, that's a little different, because what you yearn for, what you crave is going to be more than what just one box. Because now you'll get a lot of people like they say, be quiet. I ain't asked you to talk. Just come on in and because they don't crave your mind. They don't crave anything about you, but your ability, like you said, your closed mouth. Open your mouth, but don't say anything. You know what I mean?
Right.
That is a little different. So I would say yes to previous.
Okay, all right. Amen. Amen. You know what?
I mean, let's be real. After a while, what's keeping you around if you ain't? Let's be real.
See, sometimes even that it won't save you. See, you know,
but I'm saying
that won't save you because unless you can do it 24/7. See, you're gonna stop, and then that's what I'm gonna remember. Why I should leave you.
Though there ain't much holding the ship together, you know.
Well, see, then that's what we gotta do better as men and women by getting people that they do more than just that, or they're better in more dynamics, you know. Because I agree with you. It's just that. It's just like, come on, I don't need to make you my number one because see, that's what we mess up at. My number one is only going to be good.
Exactly. How many people do you know though that are like, oh, I can't stand him, but that D is like, girl.
I know people that's like that, but then that's when you have to have a little bit more dynamics. And if you're blessed to say that if you're blessed to say that you can have more than one option, some women and men, that's their only thing. The reason why they're so, hypnotized is because they only have one person hypnotize them. But when you become the one that hypnotizes, it's different.
But after a while,
you gotta have more than just that. They're not doing their spiritual work either. So they're so easy to be hypnotized by something so physical because they're not doing something that they're not, feeding themselves in different ways. So this is the only way that they can quench their thirst.
But some people they're just a sexual being. Like you get some people and they're just a mental being and things. But when you look at just what some of us experience is, oh my God, the highlight of our sexual experience, and that D is just guess what? It's really not that he's just that fabulous. It's just that was the first tier for you. So you're the tip of your iceberg. You haven't figured out yourself or what you need or crave sexuality wise. That's why. But when you can actually say that you go from basically having an experience to having climactic orgasms, then the inference changes of your dynamic. I mean, because with most men and women, you'll start hearing people say, "I want you to talk during sex." Well, if you have a man that he has no thought pattern that you appreciate, then it's like, then you're not even getting that way. But women that way. If you're getting a woman that all she's talking about is red bottoms and curry and stuff, then you're not going to get her because she doesn't have that dynamic. But when you get someone that she knows what your zones are and what it is, then you'll notice that going from having one person that, oh my God, that D is just odd, to everybody like, oh my God, it's about you and them. And then, it's just a little different.
Canoes don't move in still waters. Let that sink.
Or does it sink?
Oh, no, she did.
We got a little tonight.
Rick is all day.
Don't see the water, okay?
Rick is all day.
Y'all off the chain. Share that, the zingers.
Touche, Rick, touche.
I know. Rick with the Rickisms. I know. You got the knowledge, the sexual knowledge. I mean, it's all on point. It's all on point tonight.
No, I don't know. I have sexual knowledge, but more so I have the appetite of sexual learning.
He's like, I got sexual knowledge, but it comes with his appetite, baby.
Appetite to learn.
Not too much, but I do appreciate
sexual learning.
The sexual learning. It's actually one of the things. It was called the meditation this past weekend. It was called I believe tantric. I believe it's called oh my God. Tantric touchings.
Oh boy, you just said
you know what?
Basically being able to touch basically being able to touch.
But there is
without using your hands.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Touching your partner with your energy, touching your partner with your mind, touching your partner with
and there's different arrays of things as well.
Without the physical aspect. And that was things that we learned to do, that we were reminded to do as a couple. Getting caught up with everyday life, being a father, mother, husband, but we forgot that we are two sexual beings. We're also sexual beings. Like
Right.
Where did this all go? Like, okay, let's recharge, let's get here. We were taught a lot of things.
But see, a lot of times when you got people, when you talk about centric and stuff,
That's a whole
a lot of people, what they
conversation.
don't do is when you talk about having sex with each other, we fail. We start looking at, oh yeah, you like this about a woman or that. But what about the zones that she's in? How do you like to be touched? Like some women, it's not that you want to be slapped, but but you might want a little tap here, you want a caress here, and men the same way. But when you learn your energy level, and that's where you see a lot of people, they talk about their spirituality, about that energy force. When you learn your energy and your partner's energy, then before you touch them, you get that, but then you get that sensation, that wavelength, and then your sexual goes to a climactic state, because now you're actually feeding the beast within yourself, which helps you grow. And then you see your person that you're with, grow and elevate, because they're getting the combinations that they like and you like, and then you see it. You don't have to tell each other, you're actually experiencing it. So I've been studying that for years, and I tell anyone, you can't do it with everybody. It's just like someone who's just like someone who says that it's not about having sex with everybody. Everybody is not going to be where you need them to be. A lot of people now look at your body and can read you and can see what you're actually yearning and craving for. But to get a man and know that sometimes when a woman is talking, she's talking because of something. He knows how to get you back calm, because you're off a little bit. You need to be.
They're not even aware. Look, they're not even aware they need to be with themselves.
And you do. And I'm a firm believer. Before I let you touch me, I'm going to touch myself. But I'm
that right there. They don't even know how to touch themselves.
And when you do, though, some people can get upset because they think that, why you touch yourself so much? Why you touching yourself so less?
Why don't you
say so little?
At the end of the day, I'm not the one upset. I'm not the one angry. If anything, I'm like, I'm waiting on you.
I got a question for Cookie, but I wonder if I should ask her on air.
How are you gonna be scared to ask her questions? I'll have you pulling my leash out. Are you kidding?
Element, you was like, I'm like,
okay. I'll ask the question. Okay, what about?
Don't bring Cookie back to this mother. Don't bring her back.
Well, let me ask you this question, Cookie. When it comes to okay, let me ask you about this new toy that I've seen out there called the Rose Babe or something like that.
I'm so scared of that thing. I'm so scared of that thing.
I had a friend of mine. She had a great. I had a friend of mine was like, he says he tells women to be careful because they may not even want to be with a man that they continue to do.
And then I'm gonna tell you. Okay. First of all, for everybody, men and women, and I have a lot of toys and stuff, but no toy can replace a man.
What's up, guys?
Period. Everything that I have is to add addition to spice. The spice of that. No toy can. No rubber can replace a full-grown man with blood running through his veins.
With a pulse and a twitch.
I tell any man he should learn how to get toys in his dynamic, because then you don't have to worry about when you ready to need to re-up or you need a little minute. Yo, see if she like rope, see if she like this, put a feather, blindfold, put some music on. I think I had 4 new toys come this week, and hey, let's try this out. Look at this, and it keeps me patient, it keeps me calm, and I can think and I can talk better. So
I like cookies.
The Rose is not something that's going to replace a man, but I got some that you be like, well, it could give you a little. You watching the game, no problem. But after this game,
it's nothing compared to the electromagnetic human touch. Kinetic energy.
But see, sometimes it helps because a lot of men and women don't understand it's called multiple stimulation. And then a woman can learn herself. And then a lot of people say that, especially for some women who are afraid to say how high their sex drive is or how much they crave or they need. And it doesn't mean that I'm less or greater or anything. It just means that this is what I need. So I'm not going to define my sexual experience through you. Just because you want to have sex once a month or once a year, I want to have it a couple times a day. Don't tell me you can't do it. It's just like you didn't do it. Because when we went to school, we practiced.
That's all the shit you taught back in school.
We worked everything. We did it, and we didn't think we would have the time to do it. As a parent, you learn how to do, go to work and take care of your kid and your family. You learn how to do it. So when you have a woman with a high sex drive, you're gonna learn how to do it.
All right.
But the rose is a nice product, but it's not mind blowing. A lot of them all depend on the women. A lot of women have never really explored, and some of them have. So their sensitivity is. But sometimes when you have a high drive, it doesn't mean like you're gonna get numb or you're gonna get this. No, it just means that when you're trying to, especially with tantric, when you're learning yourself, you might learn what the difference of a feather and certain things. And the same thing with a rose. There's several G-spot clitoris, stimulation toys that you can have.
And when things like that hit the mainstream, there's so many women that don't understand how to reach a climax on their own, that when something like that hits, they're just like, oh, this is a brand new thing. And I'm just like, baby, have you ever walked into an adult store ever in your life?
It's not even about the adult store. I think what some people don't do is men and women. There's things for men too.
Right.
A lot of men, you can't find the right thing. Like someone like, oh my God, this vibration is what, like everything I get is 20 vibrations. We look for the third vibration, the third button.
Listen.
That's what we want. But for some of us and men too, you need to see how your woman is enjoying it. Like I never use a toy directly on the toy spot. Everywhere, because you're learning your zones, you're learning your bodies. You got 7 chakras, 8 zones, trying to find which region is this. And it's like combination locks, so when you figured out that helps your sexual experience, because now you're exploring. Like the when you said about trusting and vulnerability, the most vulnerable you can be is not having no handcuffs, anything on you, but blindfolding yourself or closing your eyes to your partner and trusting him.
Absolutely.
Not with him saying, okay, he quiet, like you about to sleep for the night and run up on you. No, when he's talking to you and touching you the way you want to be, but when that means you're totally vulnerable with that person. Not saying handcuffed and you can't get out. I'm saying where you're trusting that person. And I do recommend all handcuffs come with stuff you can unlock yourself. No,
Look, and here's the difference. Here's the difference too. Toys always hella fun. But here's the difference. People being so dependent on toys. Here's the difference. Toys don't have pheromones, and toys can't look you in the eye.
No, listen. You have your toys while you're there with your mate. Do you understand, Rick? Every toy, I can use toys, but I use toys when I'm with my partner.
Right.
Hey, have you ever watched a comedy show or you watch something and y'all are sipping and and you can do stimulation.
Some toys you can look in the eye. It just depends on how much money you want to spend on the toy.
Now we ain't doing that. I ain't spending $5,000 to get some fake eyes.
Look, I didn't tell y'all, I had to check my YouTube to make sure my monetization was still there, because I was like, because we done called some places.
That man
well, we still live. We still all good.
I was trying to be nice, Rick.
But you know what? This is a great subject, because there's things that people don't like to talk about, and it's good for people to be open. And y'all are like open. And me, I'm conservative, so it's good. It's a good balance there to have people who are open, and that's how you learn. That's how you learn a lot of things that way. So, but you know what?
And it's okay to be, and we could. What a lot of people fail to realize is they try to put everybody in the same bunch and think that it's going to fit everybody's structure. Just because someone might be I guess more aware or like more things like lingerie. It could be men are visual, but women are too. Start when she putting on lingerie. How does she feel about her body? The hardest thing to do is to be naked with yourself. But when you find out what makes people comfortable, then and it's okay. You're one-on-one. You're by yourself. You don't. You got multiple, whatever you're doing. But
the process
you got to figure it out.
That's the fun part of it. Learning something new over and over and over.
But you have to be able to say this, whatever you do, be it your sexual journey, be it your experiences dealing with your partner, or whatever, listen, don't beat yourself up. Hey, if it worked, it worked. If it didn't, it didn't. But you know what? I'm not going to have you be the person that's going to be the destiny marker for me. I'm not going to have you be the one that's going to tell me, oh, I should be ashamed of doing something. It's so many women and men that they are bottled up because they have no outlet. And I refuse to let someone be in control of my personal space in my mind, in my body, in my spirit. Because whoever is meant for me is going to understand. And if you don't, it's like, then it's not a part of the journey you need to be on. You know, like some people say they would rather someone have never experienced anything so they could be the only one. Are you ready to be the only one for you so you can be someone in a comfort zone for yourself? I would rather you experience life. I want you to go out here, work. I want you to know what being late is. I want you to experience everything about it. So when you come to me, you can see the ups and downs. And then, hey, are you ready? Because I don't want to hear someone act like you're 40 and you want to act like you're a 10-year-old in experience.
I'm telling you, I ain't got time to teach nobody nothing. What do you mean?
No, actually, you should, because it's some stuff that we got to learn. I'm learning every day.
Well, I'm saying like you're
patience and stuff, but some people fail to realize that you're gonna always be that teacher. Like I found out my friends, sometimes when you're catering,
but to want somebody when they're that fresh and to want to be their only one, that's a manipulative pattern. Like you shouldn't want to.
But I'm saying not. I'm not saying like you're the only one. I'm talking about like now when I look at people with maturity, I love to see you seasoned. You know what I mean? I love to see someone that got that learn't behavior on their face, in their soul. Like when I see you, I see something that's saying, you know what? Like when I'm looking at all of you, I can see the happiness, the joy, and the fear. But if you're coming at me and talk about, if you think that I'm gonna be like, no, I'm just don't know how you're gonna touch me. We just both going. No, honey. No. Put the music on. You know what I'm saying? Turn the lights on. What you gonna do? But that's what the talking. Because if I'm afraid to
drool in your mouth while you drool in my mouth, let's go.
You know, never see. Sometimes it might be that reason, but the majority of times, I don't know. When you get a little bit older, you be like, "Girl, ain't nobody being outside nowhere. Look, my knees. No.
What do you mean? It's hard. No.
I want to be comfortable. I want to be comfortable.
Thank you. I'm glad somebody said that out loud. Anyway.
Happy birthday, Tanya.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Get the hot comb, girl. Happy birthday.
I would prove to that. But you know what, y'all? I have had a great time. I don't want to drag this on way too long because sometimes you know how we do. You know how we do. We be 3 hours strong still talking. And so I know that everybody wants to wind it on down now. We go ahead and quit while we're up. So I appreciate so much the conversation. I had another question I was going to ask, but I'm going to save that one because I have a feeling it would take 30 more minutes. It would be another 30 minutes on this question.
Talk about something that you don't tell us.
Let this be part one.
Okay, this will be part one. This is okay. Y'all say this to be part one. You got one more question. Which one y'all saying?
Do you want the next question or you want this to be part one?
But the next one, like we dig deeper into the romances, the relationships, the sexual aspect.
Right. This will be part one. We'll come back again for part two soon.
So y'all we just get our toes wet now.
LaMarcus,
because to me, I got a chance to see how y'all groove. Yeah, I got a chance to see how y'all groove. I'm going to invite everybody back for part two. Kal is off the chain. Kal is so funny walking around. Kal has probably been
on adventures with Kal this whole time.
Yeah, I know, right?
Kal is checking
I got things to do.
Look, Kal checking up on his club. Hey, that's too much.
Ladies, I said use the measuring cup. Ladies,
remember I talked about teleporting over the places. Kal don't walk to all these damn places.
Kal's making sure the club is running right. That's what he's doing.
I'm telling you.
But I appreciate everybody here. What we're going to do is I'm going to take a quick break here. We'll be back, and everybody just say their goodbyes for the night. So y'all hang on, all right? And welcome back. Well, this is the part of the show where we do the wrap. We start the wrap up, and I like for people to just kind of, talk about what you have coming up this week. What you got going on in the world, so that we can look out for you, and also give us your social media if you want people to follow you and what have you. So that we can people out there can stay in touch to see what you're doing. All right. So we're gonna reverse it this time. Instead of starting with Element Rose, she's gonna be last. We're gonna start with LaMarcus. LaMarcus, what you have
this week? This week, just furthering some projects and some production projects, and bridging some new gaps with some new investors. So straight business.
Cool. Yeah, we gotta get together on that movie thing.
Hey, you already know.
How's the new De La Soul album, brother?
Sir?
How's that new De La Soul album?
Hey, I'm still getting residuals. I need hey, as long as that check keeps coming in, Kal looking like Peter's younger brother. Yep.
Oh my God, Margo. Y'all too much. Margo, go. What you got coming up this week?
Just still plotting and planning, trying to get my look and stuff together. Getting with a girlfriend of mine because since our birthdays are in October because we're Libra. Doing like a little mini photo shoot ourselves. Trying to get together some more ideas and picking out what diva dance class I want to do, because that's something that I want to start being more physical and stuff like that. So definitely want to go in and get on top of that dance class.
Okay.
Don't do too much. I'm gonna tell your mama.
But that's about it.
Okay, Margo. Thanks for being here. Kal, I don't know if you can unmute and tell us what you got going on coming up this week or not, but let's try. Kal, can you hear us?
Unmute.
If you can't unmute and talk to us.
Yeah. I'm that dude. I'm transitioning from one residence to another, and that's why you see me walking around. At one residence, I didn't have no toothbrush and no toothpaste, so I had to go to the other apartment to get it. So I'm just open for castings. Anybody has a budget, please, acting for hire. I do movies and television and commercials, and I'm pretty knowledgeable about a lot of things. I'm a barber by trade, so that's why I know so much, and I'm a lot older than everybody else here. So that's why I was amening on that. Older guys, know what they're doing.
Right.
Hey. Are you hopping in the Bentley? All right.
I debunked the myth that old men will give you worms. Now, old man will give you pleasure.
That's right. Thank you, Kal, for being here.
Just for you guys to strive for you young men.
Yeah.
Do your homework. Do your research. Learn their bodies.
Well, thank you for taking us around the world with Kal, because we have gone all around the world with you tonight.
It's all good. I appreciate y'all. Blessings to everyone. Everybody be safe, and may your dreams come true.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you.
Nice meeting y'all, everybody too.
Cookie. Cookie,
Yeah,
what
well,
you got coming up?
actually, right now, we're actually combining my alter ego with the social media platforms. We're going to do a release within the next month. The projects that we got going on would be based around like the dynamics of relationships, but it's going to be your sexual journey, your personal journey, and it's also going to be about some projects that we're doing in reference to the dynamics of friends and people, but a little bit diving deeper than what we see. A lot of people get the surface, and the surface is not where it is. It's the core, where you got to try to understand. That's where we all have the questions from. So when I come back, since you want people to come back, I would definitely have something for you, because I would want you all to come and be a part of that. It is a little bit more directness, but it's not the hard core that you might think that you're coming in and talking about, hey, the rose and the dildo. No, it's not like that. But I do want people to start exploring the reason why we have tension between each other. Sometimes people cannot use their words for the right reasons or the rationale. We have give inferences of what's going on, but it's not the true dynamic. You know, some people say, are you hungry? You know, are you acting out because of this? No, sometimes people are in a pattern that we can't break. And because you're so used to being that fixture, and you're growing or you're evolving or you're trying to shed. So that's the conflicts that we deal with, and I'm going to be talking about.
All right, cool. Thank you so much, Cookie, for being here tonight, and we'll
Thank
see
you
you
for
in
having
part
me.
two.
I appreciate it.
No problem. I enjoyed it. Rickness Monster. What you got coming up?
What's me? Not yet. But yeah, just going through, reinvention, reorganizing my schedule, making more room for my art with this new awakening, or this reminder of I have a lot of insights, a lot of internal things to make room for, getting rid of the old and making room for the better. Getting new clients, getting new inspirations, ideas, new approaches with my artistic vision, and even just as a person, reapproaching things differently than my yesteryears or my yester self. But yeah, it's an ongoing journey, and I'm enjoying it.
Good.
So
all
that's
right.
it. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Rickness, for being here. Shannon, what you got going on this week?
Well, I just had an art show a couple weeks ago. I just finished this.
Nice.
Oh, Rose. Yeah. Like that.
That's you too.
Finished this one too.
Oh,
what's the name of it again?
This one, Spirit Candy.
Spirit Candy. That's right.
Oh my gosh,
that's
nice.
Yes.
I like it. I like it. Oh my gosh.
Sharing.
So I'm open to commissions and all that stuff. I've got a couple of people I'm having to touch base with. November 14th, I will be in a fashion show.
Nice.
All right. I'm surprised on that one. I'm really surprised on that, but I will see. Because Shannon's the one. I ain't dressing up. I ain't doing it. I this.
Not at all.
Take pictures.
But the clothes are not bought by me. They are bought for me. So I'm more willing to dress up then. And what else? Literally, I'm just trying to bring in commissions. I do graphic design stuff too. So, everything from logos to branding to video edits to photography and photo edits, all of that noise. I'm in for all of that. So just reach out to me for whatever you need. All of my social is Element Rose 13. Come find me.
All right. Thank you, Shannon. Well, you know what, y'all? My week ahead, I don't have a soul spot that I'm gonna do yet. I said walk into this a little slowly, but I do have coming up in the month of October, some soul spotlights that I've already planned out there. It's got Dr. Boogie coming on, and the celebrity stylist Dr. Boogie, and a celebrity chef Cat. I mean, all kinds of folks coming in that I am going to be doing the interviews on Soul Spotlight. So stay tuned for that. Let me do this. I'll say this. You all have still inspired me. I told Rick this earlier. When it comes to the artwork, I'm almost done. No, I'm not. Rick said, don't say that. I am working on my hyper-realism piece, and it's coming along very nicely. And I am taking my time for the first time ever. And when it's done, I'm going to show what I've done. And I have some of my friends, like my friend, what's up, Juan? Juan is like major artist out there. And I always tell him, like, I was going to finish that piece, I'll finish it. And we'll have to bring Juan in at some point. And I'm going to say this was really something tonight. We had ATL show up here tonight. We had Texas. And we had ATL. Cookie, you ATL also, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So Cookie and LaMarcus and Kal and myself, ATL showed up tonight along with Texas. So we're here with y'all. Because I'm usually the Lone Ranger, you know. So ATL was in the house strong tonight. So thank y'all for being here. But for my social media, let's see if we can check out this. We hope that you have enjoyed this episode of Art Imitates Live with Tanya Dixon. So be sure to like and subscribe. And also check us out on all of our other social media. Say, of course, I appreciate everyone being here, and we're about to get out of here. Thank you so much for taking the time to spend my pre-birthday with me. Like tomorrow, October 2nd, is the actual birthday, but I just couldn't think of any other place I wanted to be than to spend it with my AIL team and bring it in, usher in the night. So Shannon's got the full gear on. Margo's got the full gear on. We're birthdayed out right now. So the celebration continues all month long. So Margo's birthday is coming up in a couple of weeks too. So the celebration shall continue. But I thank you for tonight. Our guests here tonight, LaMarcus, Cookie, and Kal. Welcome back for part 2 or any time that you want to come. I can do shows anytime. All day, every day. We can talk about what you do, what you want to do. I can do shows anytime. Just let me know. That's what I do. All right. For you out there, if you want to be a guest on the show and you have anything that you want to say to us for the show, check us out. TandyLand.com, TandyLand.com, info@TandyLand.com if you want to send us an email, or if you like Gmail, Tandyland AIL, that stands for Art Imitates Live @gmail.com. And we enjoy hearing from you. Y'all are kind of shy. I don't hear from too much. And of course, all my social media that's just laid out just now, which will be in the description of the show. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because we're growing slow, but we want to grow a lot faster if we can. So just go ahead, hit the like button for the show and subscribe to the channel so that you can see, hit your notification bell so that you can see every time that we have something live that's going on. Be sure to check us out. And I'm going to get a little ditty commercial for that too. But thank you all for tuning in. And as I like to say in party, good things come to those who believe. Better things come to those who are patient. But the best things come to those who never give up. Thanks for watching, y'all. You all have a beautiful week. I'm Tanya Dixon. This is the AIL team. Thank you. Thank y'all so much. Thank you. And y'all hold tight. We're going to see you next time on Art Imitates Live. Y'all team, y'all hold on with me. All right, here we go.
All right.